Welcome, mothers and others. I'm excited to introduce to you our next candidate who's running for office. Dr. Victor Sampson is running for State Board of Education District 5. Welcome, Victor. I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks, Nancy, so much. I'm just excited to be here and really grateful for the opportunity to talk to you today.
So, Victor, let's just hit it at the top. Can you tell me why are you running for office?
Well, the biggest reason I'm running is I'm really concerned about the direction Texas education policy is headed. Like we're seeing a lot of decisions being driven by ideology instead of evidence. We're seeing a narrowing curriculum instead of expanding opportunity. We're telling teachers what they cannot do instead of trusting them as professionals. And we're replacing meaningful learning with compliance, test preparation, and politics. So what I really want to do is push what we're going in Texas in terms of education in a different direction.
Wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the State Board of Education does?
Sure, absolutely. So it is really the big decision-making body of that goes into curriculum, teacher preparation, and management of funding for our schools. So the biggest thing that we can see on a day-to-day basis of what the school board decides to do is the setting of our TEKS, right, which are the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. And those play out in our classrooms all the time. It decides what's taught on a daily basis. It often ends up constraining teachers in terms of what they can or cannot do. It decides basically what counts as topics that you can discuss in the state during different lessons, and then that goes into developing all of our tests that students in schools are evaluated on, and it also goes into developing all kinds of instructional materials. It also even goes into deciding what teacher preparation candidates have to know and be able to do. So it's really an important job. It's not the same as defining laws, but it has this very, very huge stakes for everything that goes on in classrooms in a daily basis. And then the other big thing is handling the funding, the permanent fund for the state in terms of making decisions on how that money is invested, and also then allowing some of that money to go to like charter schools approval and things like that. So there's some big, big decisions that the school board handles.
So, what do you feel this office needs right now?
So I think why I'm coming into this and decided to really run is because I really think it needs expertise. So my life's been an educator, right? So I've been educator for my entire career, but I started off as a classroom teacher. I taught for 10 years. I've been a researcher for 15. I take time to work with teachers all over the state of Texas and the US about how to improve their craft, develop curriculum around standards. And I know the research inside and out about how do we help people learn. And what worries me a lot right now is education becomes kind of this interesting thing as a field when it comes to expertise. Often we have people that do not have a lot of educational background or experience or understanding of literature making big decisions about how we should do things. It's kind of like asking, um, or kind of like going into a doctor's office and asking somebody who's never done a surgery to do a complicated surgery for your first time, or if you're having a house built, having someone that's never done that before, but they've lived in a house, so they think they know how it goes about to building it. So all of these policy decisions that are made end up being done in the absence of expertise that we need to really help make the system better and more supportive for all of our students.
So, can you tell me a little bit more about who you are and your personal values?
Sure, no problem. So one of the big things, I'll tell you a little bit about my story. So like I said before, I started as a high school teacher. So I taught biology and chemistry up in Washington State. That's kind of the funny accent you hear me with. I've been trying to get rid of that for a number of years. As I was teaching, my principal liked a lot of the things that I was doing in my classroom. So asked me to start doing professional development for the district. When I did that, I fell in love with working with other teachers. So then I went back to grad school and then went into and got my PhD in curriculum instruction. From there, I went over to Florida State and then was there for 9 years. And then I came here to Texas 14 years ago, and I have been in love with Texas ever since. So, like I said, my story is about education, right? So I've devoted my entire life focusing on how to help kids learn more and help them be happier and more successful in school. So that's what I do my research on. That's what I write about. That's how what I talk to teachers about all the time. And it's been my life work. In terms of values, the things that I really bring to this, one is a trust for teachers. I think too long we have really thought as teachers as someone that has to be mandated and follow strict rules when teachers are experts and they're amazing in what they do to help students learn, and we need to give them more support rather than tying them up with mandates. I think our standards have become too much of check boxes and too much memorization. It really can, once again, really constrains what we're doing inside the classroom. So instead of making classrooms places where kids can learn to think and interact with each other and problem solve, we're asking them to memorize lists so they can perform well on tests. I think we're also not funding what we value. So when it comes to schools, we need to really start thinking about how we can measure things that we really care about as parents, as a community. It's not so much what the test scores that they're getting, but do students feel like they belong? Do they feel like they're supportive? Do they feel like they're safe? Do they feel like they have opportunity to do things? Is every student getting that, right? Those are the kinds of things that we really want to know that are happening in our schools, not just if they've got a good test score or not. So I'm really looking at those kinds of things of how we can transform our schools into places where students want to be, where they're inspired, and teachers can do the great job they want to be able to do.
So, what are the top three issues that make up your platform that you're running on?
Okay. Okay, so the top three issues right now is number one, I'm really focusing on looking at our TEKS development, right? So we need to transform the standards that we're using away from long lists of things to memorizing to opportunities or ways to encourage students to use the ideas and practices from various disciplines to solve problems and figure things out. If we don't change those standards, we are never going to get past test preparation and long laundry lists of things that we're supposed to be memorizing. Second big thing I want to focus on is our teacher preparation standards and programs. There has been a push over those years to lower standards. And at the same time, make standards that are not really consistent with what we know about how people learn. So we really need, as a school board member, I really want to lead the charge of revamping those and making sure that they're in there. The third one is I want to really make sure that our evaluation system is measuring what we really want to have happen. Like I mentioned before, we are really boiling everything down to how well and how many students passed a certain test this year, and that's not getting us where we need to go. What we really need to do is provide information about what's going on in schools that parents, students, and citizens care about, and then provide that information on that. And we can do things like move to standardized based grading, and that really makes testing obsolete. We just need people that know about these things so we can start pushing them forward.
Wonderful. So, next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a speed round so we can get to know the real Victor and get to know you a little bit better. So, let's hit it. What is the last book you read?
Sapiens.
What is your favorite word?
I love the word why.
What is your favorite song?
Funny the Way It Is by the Dave Matthews Band.
Do you have a personal motto?
I always think I say create opportunity and then support people when they're going for things, right? So that it's less of a model, but more of an outlook.
What is your favorite meal?
I love barbecue. Can't lie about that.
What is your favorite hobby?
Oh, so what I really actually do this, I love writing books. So I spend a lot of my time writing books for teachers. So like a lot of us do, we'll do a lot of research and do articles for researchers, but I really love writing books about teaching and learning for teachers. So that's what I spend most of my free time doing.
And do you have a favorite animal?
Oh, dog, of course.
Can you tell us where can we learn more about your campaign and where can we find you on social media?
So beautiful. I am not huge on social media. I have a Blue Sky account, but the funny thing about me being a professor, I'm all over Google. So you can find if you Google Victor Sampson, you're going to see my Google Scholar page. You're going to see me on ResearchGate. You're going to see me on a faculty website from UT Austin. And then we have our campaign website at Victor Sampson.org. And if you go there, it'll tell you all about my priorities, things that I'm thinking about, the platform, my stance on big issues, and you can get a hold of us that way as well.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Victor. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail.
Thank you so much. It was really great speaking with you as well.